Hey y'all, welcome to my channel or welcome back. If you are new here, thank you so much for joining us. If you are returning, you already know it. You are fabulous. Hey everybody, welcome. I am so happy to be here with y'all today. I hope that y'all enjoy these. So let's get started. All right, this first one I've got a pie pan and a cake pan, both from the Dollar Tree. Now one's just a hair bigger than the other. I have also got a candlestick that I bought at a thrift store. And then I have got what I thought was going to be finials from Amazon, but they came in and it is a candle cup is actually what it is. But they're going to work just fine for this project, so it's okay. I'm sure I'll find something to do with them. But I did think that they were going to be a little bit bigger than what they are when I ordered them. All right, now, the first thing that we're going to do is I'm using hot glue and E6000, and I'm going to take my tape measure and just measure off. We're going to find out where the middle of this pan is, or close to it, kind of, sort of, eyeball it a little bit. Do the same thing to the bottom of the other pan. Just figure out where the middle is. Get a good estimate of it, good idea of where it's going to be. Now, I am taking E6000 and my hot glue, added it to the bottom of that candlestick. We're just going to pop that dude down right in the middle of that first pan. Now, that's our bigger pan on the bottom. Then we're going to take the E6000, add it on. Now, I am alternating between the E6000 and the hot glue. I don't feel like it works as well when you just kind of go over the two, So I kind of try to alternate between the two. But we're using both of those, the E6000 for a permanent hold and then the hot glue for a immediate hold. Now, popped it back upside down again. Once I got it all together, I've got it upside down. I'm going to take those little candle cups and we're going to make little legs on this tray. If you haven't realized it yet, we're making a 2-tiered tray. So I've made quite a few of these on my channel, but this one is too stinking cute. Now, I'm taking the Rust-Oleum 2x Ultra Matte Cover matte white spray paint. Also, I've got this little tray here. I'm showing you this now because I'm going to spray paint it also. It was $2.99 at the Goodwill, and we'll be using it in a little bit later of a DIY in this video. So stay tuned for that one. Now, I just took that out, spray painted the entire thing, top to bottom, the whole deal. Now, I'm taking my Arteza acrylic paint marker, and I'm just going to go right around the edge of this tray. We're just going right around the edge of those pans, actually. And this is just to give it that like enamelware look. So when you're doing this, there's no reason to try to be perfect with it because you want it to look old. You know what I mean? You want it to look chipped and whatnot. So honestly, the more little spots that maybe you mess up and you have to go back and kind of redo, the better, because it's going to make it look more authentic, I guess you would say. But I just went all the way around both of those pans on the edges. And then I took that pen and I marked a couple little spots on the actual candlestick. That way, just some little tiny little spots, just so it would look like it was chipped in those places. I went back to the edges of the pan and I kind of added in a little bit to those also. And like I said, that is just to make it look worn, chipped. It really gives it that authentic enamelware look. Now, we need something to go on our tiered tray. So I've got these two little, I guess, shelf sitters, you'd call them, from the Dollar General store. And then I've got some of these roses that came from the Dollar Tree. Now, I just snipped these roses off right at the bottom of that bud. Literally just as close to the bottom as you can get. I didn't want any of the stem on it at all. I'm going to take my hot glue, add a little to the bottom of that, pop that dude right down in that first one. Now, this first one here that we're using, the outside of it is gray, and it's actually got some, like, distressing already done to it. So there was no need to paint this or anything. It was perfect for what we're doing. So I'm just adding hot glue to the bottom of those buds, and I'm just going to add those right in just pushing them down. This is so stinking cute when we're done, y'all. When this all comes together, it just looks so good. All right, so I took the other one, and I'm just going to paint it solid pink with my pink Waverly chalk paint. Now, that is the ballet slipper. I finally found some. I found a small bottle, very small bottle, and there was only one of them. But hey, whatever, at least I found one. So I'm just painting that entire little square with that chalk paint. I actually flipped it over and painted the back and accidentally painted over the sticker and realized that I had done it, so I had to stop and take the sticker off. But like I said, just completely painted that pink, took my heat gun, dried it. Now I'm going to take my Arteza paint marker in white, and we're just going to write a little Valentine message on this. You could really write anything you wanted to. I wrote "Be Mine" just because it was simple, perfectly would fit onto this little square. I wrote it in the font. I would call it like the skinny, trying to kind of mimic the Ray Dunn is what I was going for. So I just hand lettered this. I did go over it twice with that white because it wasn't really bright. Now, the last thing that we're going to be doing, I took my paintbrush and used only the paint that was left on the end of it. It was just the end of that paint that was left on there. Mixed it with a little bit of water, and then I took one of these hearts that came from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to paint all the way over this. Now, this would have been super cute to add with some beads or something like that, but I just wanted to have a little chunky heart to put on our tiered tray, and it worked out perfect. Stained it, and it looks so stinking cute. Look at that, y'all. Oh my gosh. I am in love with this. All right. So what about all that water? So it flooded my little filming and picture taking spot, but hey, I wasn't going to let that stop me. All right, let's jump right into the next one. I have got one of these picture frames that has the little, well, what am I trying to say? Clothespins on it from the Dollar Tree. I've also got some of the hearts from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm using the colors Plaster and then also that ballet slipper by Waverly. And I'm just painting right over the top of these, directly over the top of the glitter and everything, just right over the top of them. I'm using my heat gun to go in and dry in between coats. I did give this 2 coats over the top of both of them. Now that heat gun, I'll leave in the description box a link for that. I get that on Amazon. It was about $10, and that thing is amazing. So check that out. All right, now, if you can just see it, what I'm trying to show you here is if you can just get the light just right, you can see that you can still see where the glitter was, like where the indentation, is that the right word? I have no idea. Where the imprint, there we go, we'll use that word, of the glitter was. So we're going to use that to our advantage. But first I am taking what was left on my brush of that plaster, and I'm just going over this frame. I'm just trying to distress it a little bit, make it a little more farmhouse, just really hitting at the edges of it and the corners real good, but definitely just going over it enough to give it that farmhouse feel, you know, just kind of add to it a little bit. Now, I'm going to start back in on my hearts. What I did was take a small flat paintbrush, and I just followed the lines of where that glitter was. Literally just painted right over the top of the glitter, and that is how I kept, you know, the straight lines and just followed the design that was already on there. Super simple. It made this so easy. I took the end of my paintbrush to make the dots. Didn't like it, so I painted back over the top of it and started over with that one. So on the other one, I'm just going to paint the outside of it with my plaster chalk paint. And then I'm going to take my Arteza acrylic marker again, and we're just going to go right over the top of that XOXO. So easy, y'all. The fact that you could still see that where the glitter was made this DIY super simple. And you can do that with a lot of the Dollar Tree stuff. But it made it just so super simple to follow right over the top of those lines. It was almost like a stencil. All right, now I did paint the clothespins with that ballet slipper. I've got my hearts ready to go. Ain't that cute? Aren't they darling? Oh my goodness. Okay, I have got some of this ribbon here that came from burlapfabric.com. Super cute, super farmhouse. So I'm just measuring it out. I'm going to see just how long I need it to be. Snip me off two strips of that. And then we are going to actually hot glue that to the back of these hearts. So I just added a little dot of hot glue on the back, placed down my ribbon. So super simple, y'all. This is so stinking cute too. All right, now we've got our ribbon on. Made sure it was good and attached. And we're going to put that on the line now, that twine there. So I just flipped it over the twine, took the clothespin, snapped it on there. Went back, I decided to add some stitching marks on the other heart, just so that it would kind of tie in with the black that was on the XOXO on the other heart. It just kind of pulled it together, I felt like, but super easy, y'all. I just made little dots, and that just kind of gave it that stitched look. I love this. I think it is so stinking cute. And this is pretty much done. Now, I did take my paintbrush and go back in and kind of fix some spots where I had messed up on the bottom, but super easy, super duper easy, and super cute. Check it out. I love this. Alrighty, y'all. DIY number 3. We are moving right along. Okay, so for this one, I've got one of these palette hearts that I got from the Dollar Tree. I've also got this wood piece that I got from Walmart. They're about $6, I think, about $5.88, something like that, but real good, sturdy piece of wood. I've also got this word love that I got from Walmart, and then I have got this scarf that I picked up from the Goodwill. I knew it had the perfect pink color in it for Valentine's, so I grabbed it knowing that there was something I could do with it, and I'll be darned if I didn't find something. So I took apart that heart, pulled off the ribbon off the back of it. Then I'm taking my word love, and I'm just going over that with the Antique Wax by Waverly. And yes, I did it over the top of my wood piece, but that's okay because we're going to be covering it with the Antique Wax too, thank goodness, but not a smart move. I painted that entire word with the Antique Wax, and then I wiped it off with a towel, did the same thing to my wood piece, just covered it really well with that Antique Wax, and then wiped it back off with a towel. It really, really brought out the wood grain in that piece of wood. It really works well. All right, now we're taking our pieces, and I'm just going to sand down where the ribbon was on the back of this to hold it together. I'm then taking Waverly's chalk paint in the color plaster, and we're just going to paint 3 pieces of this heart. Now, we've got a 4th piece we're going to save and use the scarf on. So I just gave them 2 coats, painted that up. Then I'm taking that brush that had the Waverly's Antique Wax on it, and I'm just going around the outside edge of that piece, the entire heart. Each piece, I went around the edge of it, and I just smeared it with my thumb, and it worked out perfect. Really gave it the look that I was kind of going for. Then I decided to take the brush that still had some of the plaster on it, and I'm just going to dry brush this piece of wood, and look at how pretty this turns out. Y'all, that piece of wood dry brushed so well. I mean, it just turned out gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Did the same thing to my word love. I just dry brushed it a little bit. Then we're taking that extra piece that we had, lay it out over the scarf. I'm just going to kind of find my placement, what part of the scarf that I wanted to show. Then I'm just cutting around it with my scissors. I'm not trying to make it perfect. It doesn't matter because we're going to be actually hot gluing it, so no big deal. So I just added a small bead of hot glue all the way down the edge of that piece, flipped my scarf over on it, and then I just spread it out really, really good. I made sure, I didn't want that hot glue to get like bulky underneath there, so I did go ahead and smooth it out pretty quick while the hot glue was still, good and hot, and I could smooth it real good. So that's what I did. I went on both sides and did the same thing. Just pulled it over. That way we've got a perfectly clean edge, when we go to place this thing back together. Now, I was scared that the sides of this was going to actually be bulky. So I did cut off the corners so that I could just fold over the ends and not have that extra piece there, So that's what I did. I just cut that off, added my hot glue, folded over my edges. I smeared those down real well also, just like I did the others. Both sides, just added that hot glue. This is so simple and it is so stinking cute. All right, so I'm just going to take my pieces now that we've got them like we want them. And I am actually just going to hot glue these straight down to this board. Just adding my hot glue on each piece. And I'm going to hot glue this right down to the board. I figured the hot glue would hold up. I mean, I'm not going to be like tossing this picture around the room or anything. So I figured the hot glue was good enough. If you wanted a permanent hold, you would want to do like E6000 or maybe even wood glue. Probably wood glue would probably be best. But I wasn't worried about that. So I just went with the hot glue, just glued it down, made sure to leave some spacing in between each piece. I still wanted it to have that palette look to it. But I did just hot glue them straight down. Now, once I've got them all like I want them, I've got everything hot glued down, I am going to take that word love, and I just kind of played around with it for a minute just to kind of decide exactly where I wanted to place it. I wasn't sure if I wanted it right directly in the middle. Like, I thought that kind of looked good, but I ended up going with putting it over to the side so that it would cover up that hole that was in the top of the heart there where the hanger originally was. So I just took that word love and added my hot glue right along the letters. So simple, guys. This is so simple. And altogether, this project probably cost me about $7. And it is definitely well worth more than that because it is super cute and it's a good, solid piece. Now, I did have to pull off all of the hot glue webs, obviously. They were all over that word. I just placed it down there, held it in place, let that glue stick really, really good. And this is done. I mean, that's all there was to this one, and I love it. All right, DIY number 4. Okay, so for this one, I've got this cool metal love word that I got from the Dollar Tree. And then I have also got some very cool yarn that I found at Walmart. Now, I took that sign and I just popped off the hangers. Super easy, just wiggled them, popped right off. Now, I'm going to take that yarn, tie it off at the top. Don't tie too tight or you will break your yarn, because that's what I did the first time. But I just tied that off at the top, just a little double knot, just so that my yarn would stay in place. And then I'm just going to wrap this around the middle section of this word. So this word had a middle section and then an outline around the word. So you'll see what I'm saying here in just a minute. But what I did was just take that yarn and literally wrap the inside section of this word. This turns out so stinking cute. Like, it's so shabby chic, but I love it. Absolutely love it. So super simple. Just wrap it with some yarn. Now, you can actually get yarn at the Dollar Tree also that would totally do this. Same difference. But like I said, I just wrapped that inside section with my pink yarn, each letter. And when I would get to a new letter, I would just cut it off and start off with a new piece. But I cut my pieces off pretty short. That way I wasn't having to like untangle and unwind too much yarn at one time as I was winding it around that, you know. So just shorter pieces. But like I said, each time I got to a new letter, I just cut off a new piece, tied it on, and started to wind. And that's how I did it. Look how cute. Look at how stinking cute that is. That yarn is so neat. It's like fuzzy once you're done. All right, so once I got that done, that's how I was going to leave it. And then I thought, no, this is not farmhouse. I don't like the gold. So I ended up going in with some regular old twine. You can get it at the Dollar Tree. And I did the outside of the lettering on this word all the way around it. And that's all I did to this. Too stinking cute. All right, so I got a little bonus DIY for y'all. We are going to be using that basket that we spray painted in the beginning. I got that at the Goodwill for $2.99, spray painted it white. I've got these 3 bottles that I got from Walmart, 97 cents a piece. How cute are those? Now, I do end up painting the bottom of those white, adding some twine around the top of the bottle just to make it farmhouse looking. And then I've got these peonies that I got from Amazon. They're about $10 for this big bushel of them, and they are gorgeous. They're such pretty flowers. Now, $10 is a little more than I would actually spend on some flowers, but I was looking for a good set of peonies. I think they're gorgeous flowers anyways, so went ahead and splurged, bought them off of Amazon, and definitely happy that I did because they are very pretty flowers. If I can find the link for these, I will leave that in the description box for y'all. But I just snipped these off of the bushel that they were on, kind of bent the bottoms of them because I didn't want to cut them off super short because I would probably be using them again, you know, in something else. So I just bent the remainder that was on the bottom of that. I just bent it backwards so that they would slip down inside the bottle. But that's pretty much all I did to this. And this is adorable. Absolutely adorable. I wanted to show you all this, mainly to show you the peonies, but also just to show you how simple it is to throw together a little set of flowers and it be just something super pretty. Look at how pretty, you guys. Goodwill, Amazon, and Walmart. That cost me about $10 altogether. right, y'all, time for my favorite part, the final reveal. And I sure do hope that y'all have enjoyed this. That is it for today. I hope that y'all have enjoyed these DIYs. I know that I definitely did. I've had so much fun. I love some pink anyways and some sparkly. So Valentine's is right up my alley. I cannot wait to just continue on with these DIYs and show y'all what I got, okay? All right, I hope that you definitely enjoyed. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. It helps my channel for sure. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Leave some comments. I love your feedback. I absolutely love knowing what y'all are thinking and how you're feeling. That is a wonderful, wonderful thing. All right, don't forget to subscribe. That is most important. Hit that notification bell so that you will know each time I upload a new video. And y'all have a blessed day.